I'm giving you guys the absolute best settings in Warzone. Rebirth Island, Urzikstan, it doesn't really matter what you guys play, even multiplayer. This is the absolute best setting for all of these. So we're going to start out with the controller. This is the most basic thing, and I want to make sure you guys have this covered because this is the most important. So I play on a layout that's stick and move flipped. Now, I also edit a little bit. This is for like my PS5 guys. You guys don't have to be on PS5 to do this. You can change the button assignment right here. But my PS5 guys, what you guys do for my button layout is I go to settings, go to accessibility, go to controller, custom button assignments, turn on custom button assignments, and then switch my circle for L2 so that when I actually slide, it's basically seamless. So stick and move flip, there is this sort of inconvenience where your slide and dive is circle, and that is basically my solution. Now you have to make sure it's flipped. If you want to turn on flipped, all you guys have to do is enable this feature, turn it on, flip L1, L2, R1, R2. I don't have this on, doesn't really matter. Stick layout preset default. Make sure you guys have controller vibration off. There is no reason for you to have this on. Also, if you have trigger effect on, you're going to be at a disadvantage. You do not want full haptic because it's just going to hinder your gameplay. For dead zone, this is pretty important in my opinion. Make sure you guys have the left stick and right stick at 5. That way, if you have a slight, I'm talking about the smallest bit of stick drift, then this is going to cover it. Even if you don't have the smallest bit of stick drift, if you set it to 0, I believe me when I say that the reaction time is just not going to be in sync and you're going to be moving a little bit sporadically. This is what you want to have. 5 is the perfect setting. Now, we're going to move on to aim. For me, my horizontal and vertical is 5.5. What I've noticed, and even what pros use, are the same vertical and horizontal. That way, their aim is balanced. If you say have like an 8.5 like snipers do in multiplayer, then that may be a little bit different because that's not competitive. But if you're playing and trying to be as good as possible, you want to have the same vertical and horizontal sensitivity. ADS sensitivity multiplier is going to be at 0.85 because this gives you the absolute best aim assist. This gives you basically additional aim assist, but it does not hinder your aim. So this is the best choice. Sensitivity multiplier, I did not touch this. It doesn't really matter. Like, these are kind of irrelevant things, so you don't have to worry about that. Along with this, I don't really touch this either. So next is tac stance sensitivity. I didn't touch this. The aim response curve type. I play on linear. Now, like it says, it's ideal for players who have mastered the tweaking of aiming settings. So this is basically for pros. If you are not a pro, if you're a beginner, I would highly recommend dynamic. Just because, I mean, you'll get a better chance at, like, I guess, being a better movement / aim player. And if you're completely lost, just stick with standard. I mean, that's how you start out with, but linear is for the players that have a little bit more skill under their belt. Now, for people that are basically sniping and, you know, basically things like that, I put this to 0.80. I feel like it works best for me. If you guys don't want to change this, completely fine. ADS transitioning time instant. I mean, I didn't really mess with that. Aim assist, target aim assist on. Do not listen to any idiot that says to turn your aim assist off because they just want to have an advantage over you. For the longest time I had on Black Ops, but they actually nerfed it, and I've noticed that default is actually the best setting. If you're wondering why noobs can absolutely crush you with aim assist, it's because they have default aim assist. Do not change precision, focusing, or Black Ops. Just keep it on default if you want the most aim assist possible. Also keep ADS aim assist on, even though it's available in single player, it doesn't really matter. Just keep all these settings on. Like these just make sure these things stay on. Motion sensor behavior, I mean, I have that off. I don't really care about that. Next, we are going to the movement behavior. Make sure you have auto tac sprint on, especially if you're playing Warzone. That way you can slide cancel pretty easily. Slide, maintain, sprint. I have that off. I mean, I don't think that really matters in my opinion. Auto move forward off, double tap for tac sprint behavior, grounded mantle on, automatic airborne mantle partial. Just follow along with these. Believe me, these are going to make your settings so much better. That the partial, automatic ground mantle hang, turn that off. Slide dive behavior, slide only. This way you can slide cancel with no delay. Now, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but in the beginning, when this game first came out, everyone had tap to slide, and they thought their slide cancel was going to be normal. And believe me when I say, you do not want to have it at tap to slide. You do not want to have it tap to dive. You don't even want it at hybrid. You want it at slide only. In fact, I've found no situation where diving is convenient in the new Call of Duty. Like, none whatsoever. Just put it to slide only. You'll be much better. Plunging underwater, make sure you have that free. That way you can actually look down, move forward, to plunge underwater. Like, it's just much better. It's just a much better option than trigger. Parachute automatic behavior. Please turn this off. If you want a better chance at landing in buildings and not getting like straight up shot out the air because your parachute automatically deployed, make sure you have this off. Sprinting door bash. Please have this on. I mean, you can have so many good plays with just bashing through the door. If you don't have this on, you're just going to put yourself at a disadvantage. Ledge climb behavior, mantle only. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter what you do with this. Gas mask activation. I have this on manual. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you can put this to automatic if you want to. It's completely your choice. Aim down sight behavior, hold, sprint, tactical sprint, all that stuff. That doesn't really matter. A lot of this stuff right here really doesn't matter. I mean, if you guys want to copy these settings, you can. Prioritize interact is probably one of the most important ones to me. So you don't have to actually hold the button to interact with, say, like one of the loot crates. You can just tap the button and it'll actually open it versus you having to push and hold. Also, armor plate behavior. This is a big deal right here. Make sure you have it to apply all. That way, when you're running away from the enemy, you can just have it apply all of your plates. Instead of applying one while still trying to run from the enemy, and then while you're running, it just cancels. It just, you don't want to deal with that. Apply all. This is the best choice. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I mean, you can put these on if you don't have it set, but these don't matter. Depleted ammo weapon switch. I think that's a good idea to keep on. I've never really messed with the C4, but I guess you can put that on if you want to. Manual fire behavior, I have it to press. Don't put it to hold. For the most part, anything that you want, like semi-auto, a lot of the semi-auto weapons you can shoot much faster than holding. So just please have this to press. Akimbo behavior, keep it independent. I don't really mess with the vehicle. It doesn't really matter that much to me. Ping wheel, I haven't really touched any of these. Next, let's move on to graphics, because I know a lot of people want really good graphics and they're trying to figure out why their game doesn't look as nice as my game. So on-demand texture streaming, I have this off right now, but I mean, you can keep it on and it honestly will help you. It doesn't really matter whether you have it on or off, but these are the big things. World motion blur, keep that off. Weapon motion blur, keep that off. Film grain, put it to 0, please. Depth of field, turn that off. Fidelity CAS, turn that on and set the strength to 45. This will give you the absolute best look. Believe me, this is going to give you the best look out of anything else. Sustainability, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I have it at efficiency, but it doesn't really matter in my opinion. If you're playing on PS5, 120 Hz refresh rate. That's if you have a 120 Hz monitor. FOV, set it to 115. Do not set it to 120. A lot of you guys like to set it to 120 because you see your favorite streamer saying it to 120 and they're playing against noobs. You're most likely not going to play against noobs. So you need to be able to see these players, and you don't want them to be moving at the speed of light. They're not actually moving at a different speed than you, but it looks like they're moving at different speeds. So set it to 115 so the speed is manageable and you're actually able to see your targets. Third person field of view does not matter. First person camera and third person camera movement. Make sure this is set to least. If I could set this to 0, I would literally set this to 0. But set this to least. If you have this at 100%, believe me when I say this is going to be way too shaky for you. It's not ideal, and it really sucks this is set the default. But set it to 50%. This is the best choice. Inverted flashbang, I found no use for this whatsoever. I feel like that's actually it's just worse off. Now, if you're somebody who, I guess, has like epilepsy or whatever, then I guess you can have this on, but I just don't think that it's worth it. I don't really touch these, in my opinion. You can, if you want to have these settings, that I didn't really touch them. Display. Brightness, I mean, I keep it to 50. I basically didn't touch it, but if you guys want to change it, then go ahead and change it up. Safe area, I mean, that doesn't really matter. Audio. This is the big thing right here. I have it set to TV, which is basically the default. I don't have it to headphones, bass boost, or anything along these lines. In fact, I had it to bass boost for a while, and I realized that TV is actually louder and better. Now, here's something that's going to sound weird, but trust me on this. Set your master gain volume to 90. Do not set it to 100 because it's going to basically muffle the sounds. 90 is actually the best setting. Next, for voice chat, try to put it to 50. That way they're not too loud, but they're not too quiet. Everything else you can keep on. Open mic sensitivity 4. That's just me. I mean, you can have it however you want to. Open microphone volume 50. Like I said, these are just personal preference. Doesn't really matter if you don't want to. Subtitles, default, everything else. Mono audio. Make sure you have this off. I know that sounds strange, but just make sure you have this off. All right. Next, reduce tinnitus sound. I mean, you can have that on if you want to. War Tracks Passenger if you want to. Juggernaut sound if you want to. And Marker sound, I have it to Modern Warfare. After that, I mean, the rest of these don't really matter in my opinion, unless you want it to look like you're playing on PC, or if you are playing on PC and you guys want to see like, the one big thing, square, minimap. I will say this is the only thing I think matters. This is the only thing that actually matters. So if you want to see more of your minimap, instead of round, make sure it's square. That's the only thing that actually matters. Everything else does not matter. And that's basically it. If you guys want to see your latency, packet loss, clock, whatever, all these things, turn these on. But I mean, aside from that, that's basically the best settings. So let me know in the comment section if these helped you out. I would greatly appreciate it.